Silver and gold have been taken behind the woodshed and are getting a good whipping. Yes, the price of gold and silver are going down. Some people are even say a little mini crash. Look, guys, we have nothing to worry about. In this talk, in this live stream video, we're going to talk about what's happening, what we have coming up here, big news here in the next 4 and 5 days, and why we don't have anything to really be worried about when it comes to gold and silver. That's a fact. I know days like this are no fun. Days like yesterday are no fun. I'm with you. I'm not enjoying it. However, it's part of the ride. Remember, it's a bumpy ride, but it's a ride up. And we are going to talk about what's going on right now. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of the basement. I hope you feel like, because you are part of the group, please subscribe to the channel. That'll help us. Give the video a thumbs up, and super chat, super thanks are never expected, always appreciated. So we've got the big Fed meeting next week. Be prepared. We could see a further downdraft in the gold price, but listen to what Gary Savage has to say. Yes, that Gary Savage, that famous gold and silver analyst himself, said this: gold is dropping right now into either a half cycle low or a full cycle low. The likely trigger event for the bottom is the FOMC meeting. That's the big Fed Jerome Powell meeting next week, where the Fed is going to cut by 25 basis points. Once that's out of the way, gold should make a run to retest the all-time highs. $3,000 will be a piece of cake this spring, maybe even in January. Okay, so Gary Savage is telling us January, early spring, $3,000 gold. Things are going to be okay. Maybe do you question yourself from time to time about your decision to invest into precious metals, possibly the precious metal mining stocks? Again, I'll say it one more time, the big V word, volatility. We'll have ups, we'll have downs. We will continue to the upside. And let's go take a look and see what Gary was just talking about. Let's do a check on what the odds are for a rate cut. See if this has changed. Yesterday when we checked, again, this is the odds of a 1/4 point rate cut at the next meeting of the Fed, which will be on Wednesday of next week, the 18th. Let's refresh this and see if things have changed. I believe they have. However, now we're still, basically 97% chance that we're going to get a 1/4 point rate cut, a 25 basis point rate cut next week. And guys, look, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We've talked about it over the last few weeks. The Federal Reserve is up the creek without a paddle. The only thing the Fed will be able to do as we head into the future, 6 or 1/2 dozen the other, right? Whatever you want to call what they're going to be doing, they're going to be printing money, diluting the currency. It will create inflation. It will create a higher environment for the gold price and the silver price. And I want to revisit something that Jerome Powell said about gold earlier in the week that I think maybe didn't get enough of our attention, because Jerome Powell, he said the G word. Yeah, that's right. Jerome Powell said gold. Let's go take a look at this. And I want to tell you why I think this is so important. Remember, this was a big Bitcoin crypto headline, but really think about this. This was the biggest crypto Bitcoin highlight of the week, but it had everything to do with precious metals. It had everything to do with gold. Let's go back, and I'll tell you why this, I think, is so important, right? Fed Chief Powell said what he said about crypto that may have aided Bitcoin's rally to $100,000. And this is what he said. He said that it's not a competitor for the dollar. It's really a competitor for gold. But he said something else that's even more astounding. But first off, he's recognizing gold, okay? He said that at the New York Times Deal Book Summit. But then, look at this. This is hilarious. However, Jerome Powell also maintained that Bitcoin is not a challenge for traditional currencies, not a challenge for traditional currencies, such as the US dollar, but rather for gold. Traditional currencies, okay? Bitcoin, What is we need to get Jerome out quickly, right? He's getting to his who knows how much longer he's going to be there at the Fed. We need to have a talk with this guy, okay? Jerome, traditional currency, the most traditional currency on the history of the world. Hold on, put him back in his box. Is this Jerome? Silver. Sorry, silver. he's saying that Bitcoin's not he's calling the dollar a traditional currency. Okay. Sure. If you want to believe in Santa Claus, Jerome, if you want to believe in the tooth fairy, do you believe in the tooth fairy? Do you believe in Santa Claus? They're fun things to believe in. Absolutely. I believe in Santa Claus, in case we have any of our fellow believers here, but you get my point, most likely, right? Sure. Yeah. The dollar is a traditional currency. No, Jerome, I'm getting angry. This is a traditional currency, period. End of story, kaput. So let's talk about the gold price and the silver price. We've had a few down days, right? Here's what we need to remember, in particular with silver. $32, $31, $30, right? And we've been buffeted. We hit 32 the other day. Let's get an update on the price. I know it's not good. Okay, as much magic as they have at Pimbex, I don't think we can expect a green number today. Silver's down 54 cents. So we're getting close to $30. And we were close to 30. We were at $32 just a few short days ago. Gold, $2,660 per ounce. So if you waited a couple days to buy your silver and gold, you can get a much better deal today. I want to say thank you to Pimbex for sponsoring Ron's Basement. Okay, it's a big privilege to me to get to talk about Pimbex because I was a customer of theirs before they sponsored the channel. Great experiences, great feedback that I've received from our community. If you're going to buy some gold, silver, or platinum group metals online, I will never tell you what you should, but I will say that you may benefit from checking out Pimbex. You're going to find that they have ultra competitive prices. They got a great selection, and it's a company that you can trust. And time for the big warning. Warning, warning, warning. Please, if you or anyone you love or care about, even remotely care about, ever decides to convert part or all of an IRA into precious metals, please take your time. And I want to give you another double warning. There's no such thing as $10,000 or $15,000 worth of free silver, like some of these companies advertise on their television advertisements. Okay. Do your homework, take your time, talk to a lot of people. The guys at Pimbex would be happy to talk to you as well. At the end of the day, compare all your options, compare how many actual ounces of metal you'll get from each one, because I think you'll be shocked and you could literally save yourself thousands of dollars, potentially hundreds or thousands of ounces as well. Okay, enough of that. So $31, $32. Look, we're building. Let's take a step back. I know it's painful, but it doesn't have to be so painful, because if we can keep silver above this $30 range, actually, the point that we pulled back again, as long as we don't break through. Look, if we get down to $28, $27 silver, I'm worried. Are you worried? I'm not worried long term, but on a short term, I will be worried. If we can hold, let's go look at the chart. If we can hold the gold price, hold on. Do I have you guys on the right screen? I do. Sorry about that. Let's go. Let's go to Yahoo Finance quickly and go to silver. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Also, yeah, the S&P's down, the NASDAQ's down. Oh my gosh, the NASDAQ's down. Let's go to silver here. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. There we go. And where's silver? There it is. We're building a base. Look, you can actually be glad that we've had these pullbacks, because what that does is build a more and more solid base from which we can make what a lot of people are saying is a run to make possibly new all-time highs in 2025. I mean, look at this chart. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing for the silver price. Okay. I know, I get it. The down 59 cents part is not beautiful. But again, if we start back at March, look at this. All right, we are close, I got to say, right where we are right now. But look at this red trend line. It is critical that we stay kind of above where we are right now. We'll see how today finishes off. Now, I want you to also look at this. Gosh, I can't believe. I mean, it has been an utter battle. You can just look at where the green line is, the green dotted line, which is essentially where we are right now in the silver price. We have been battling in this range. Wow. You know, trying to get either above or below here, above or below 30, below 30, above 32 for quite a while. So, look, the fact that we right now are building this base, I really do truly believe the longer the base is built, the higher the move, the more powerful that the move will be. In the 32, I heard one of the big analysts last night talking about the move from 32 to 40 can happen quickly. Right? We don't like to admit this about our friend silver in particular. I know we're going to focus in on silver here just a little bit, but silver's very temperamental. Silver is like we know it's bipolar, right? It's a monetary metal, it's an industrial metal. It's like one of the only ones that really has those two core characteristics. So it's bipolar, but it's also a little crazy, right? A little schizophrenic, if you will. When it moves very, very quickly. And remember, this fact that we've moved up to 30, that has been done with almost zero, I mean nada, involvement or participation from the Western investors. So let's talk about why we're in this downturn. We need to understand what's going on and why it can change and when it will change, because we've got big, big things coming down the pike, right? In the next, I think, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, we're going to have some serious, serious uncertainty out there, which likely could result in a big move, a flight to safety. It'll initially happen with gold, but trust me, it will filter through to the silver market as well. But let's go take a look at what we can blame this most recent spout of difficulty on. The dollar. Okay, this is all temporary, but the dollar went higher on fresh inflation data and the euro lower. So this is what really happened yesterday that kind of kicked off this downturn. The US dollar rose on Thursday after a hotter than expected inflation readout, and the euro traded a touch lower following the ECB's decision to cut interest rates. So yesterday, we had a high inflation number, which in the long run is good for the gold and silver price. But in the short run, people perceive that as bad because high inflation means the Fed's going to have to be tighter with monetary policy. But we know that the Fed is running out of options. The Fed really can't be tighter with monetary policy. So it's really a big joke. But the higher inflation number sent the dollar higher. On top of that, you had the European, I don't know if you know this, but apparently the European economies are in big, major trouble. Germany, which is the biggest economy in Europe, is in big, 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 big trouble. They're having economic hardship, I guess you could say. My heart goes out. Our hearts go out to our friends in Europe. So while the ECB lowered rates, that made the value of the euro go down. This is not that complicated. The euro went down, and since the DXY index, our favorite thing to look at, compares the dollar to the euro, that sent the dollar up. So here's an update on the dollar. Look, guys, I want to show you something. This clearly will show you. I was kind of taken aback when I looked at this. This is a 3-month chart of the dollar index. Remember, like right around October 1st, right around the time when Jerome Powell started cutting rates, the dollar index was at 100. It has gone up by 7% to 107 on the dot. That is a massive move in what? 9. So that was October, November, in about 10 weeks. You can talk to anybody. That is a major, major headwind to the gold price. And we can say is probably the biggest reason why gold and silver have been struggling here for a little while. Look, you're sick of me showing you this, right? So stay with me, but we need to look at it. Where we are now, I won't draw the line, but at 107, we've not been higher on the dollar index hardly ever in the last, 50 years. A couple times, but maybe 10% of the last 50 years has the dollar index been higher. And when the dollar index goes lower, like we can see here, starting around 2001 through 2011, as we talk about every single day, the price of silver during that period when the DXY index went down and it was in a bear market, you know what happened to the price of silver? A lot of you know the price of silver during that 10-year period went from under $5 per ounce to over $50 per ounce. Can you help me out with the math on that one? If something goes from 5 to 50, is that 100%? No, that's 1,000% gain, 10 times gain in the price of silver alone. So that's what we've got. Here's another way to look at it. Hold on here. Right? This came from bar chart. All right, the U.S. dollar index is going for its 6th consecutive green day, which would be its longest winning streak since October. I mean, this is a bar chart. Look at, again, guys, look at this. I mean, it's just up, 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 up. And that, again, makes for a difficult environment. The good news in this is that it's like anything. It doesn't just go up, 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 especially the currencies, in particular the DXY index. It will fluctuate. Okay. This is not a stock. This is not Bitcoin that just goes up and up and up and up and up. No, this is an index that compares two things to each other. So it will fluctuate. It will come back down, and it will spell a good time for the gold and silver community. Make sure we got you. Look at this. This guy's great. This is another one of the smartest guys in the room. Gary Wagner, a lot of you know him. Gold market volatility, decoding the impact of the producer's price index. But look at this, okay? Like he says, I think he summed it up. Traditionally, higher wholesale costs. So we got higher wholesale costs come out yesterday. Inflation, PPIs, what you may have heard it referred to as, could signal potential inflationary pressure. Traditionally, a bullish indicator for gold, right? Traditionally, high inflation, like we got yesterday, is good for gold. As a time-honored safe haven asset, gold has long been viewed as a hedge against inflation. Same thing for silver. Theoretically becoming more attractive when economic uncertainty looms. Okay, so we've got that, right? We've got economic uncertainty. We have higher inflation, which is also stagflation, but I digress. However, the market's reaction defied this conventional wisdom, and that can only go on for a little while, suggesting a more nuanced factors at play, right? Things aren't normal. There's weird things going on. The current market dynamic appears to be driven more by a trader behavior than a fundamental economic shift. I have a quick sip of coffee. After a remarkable 4-day rally that saw gold futures climb $97, rising from $26.55 to $27.55, the market seemed primed for a profit-taking correction. So the market is not doing what it should be doing right now. We're in one of those we're in one of those little fantasy island zones with the Fed. We're coming up on the big Fed meeting. Think about the Fed, okay? Think this about the Fed. This may shock you a little bit. You may not agree with this, right? But the Federal Reserve has become nothing more. Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, they're losing their potency, number one. That'll manifest more in 2025. And they're becoming more and more of nothing more, not a bank. They're more of a public relations firm. Everybody's listening to what the Fed says, right? That's what the Fed wants, is for people to listen to them. But if we examine things they've said in the past, like inflation's transitory, hey, thank you, Cliff. Just call me a nuance. Thank you, Cliff Moberg, for that super chat. Wow, that is super generous. The Fed has become nothing more than a public relations firm, okay? Because I want to show you something that will prove that point, that will absolutely prove that point. Wait till we look at this chart. This becomes very interesting when we look at interest rates and what has happened in the real market for interest rates subsequent to the Federal Reserve cutting rates. Here we go. We'll go look at the 10-year bond. Since the Fed cut rates, I mean, this is crazy, right? The Fed is losing it. Hold on here. Let me pull this up bigger. I'm trying to make this bigger for you. How's everybody doing today? Basement. Well, I had to go to the doctor this morning. Boy, you know what? And at the end of this live stream, I will go on a short rant about the healthcare system and give you my feelings about. There's a big turmoil right now in the country with people. I think we hit a Bud Light moment, if you know what I mean, for the healthcare system in this country. But nonetheless, here's a 1-year chart of the 10-year bond yield. This is when the Fed cut rates. Okay. The Fed cut rates and the 10-year bond was at 3.6. Now, since the Fed has cut what, by I think 3/4 of a point, interest rates are up by 3/4 of a point. Mortgage rates are up by 3/4 of a point. The Fed has lost it. The Fed, the world is calling the bluff on the Fed. It's as easy as that. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here, which I don't believe I did. No. Okay, now let's show why. Right? We always love to come check on this on a daily basis. I mean, look at this. Every time we come, there's another 100 billion, 36 trillion, $200 billion of debt. Wow, that jumped. They must have had to make a catch-up entry. And the dollar to silver ratio today is sitting at 1,110 per ounce. Yes, that means that for every 1 ounce, think about this, every 1 ounce of silver that's produced this year, every 1 ounce, the U.S. government is going to produce $1,110 per ounce. And I have something very important I want to share with you about that 1 ounce. If you have an ounce of silver, there we are on the 21st of October. So we can say, we'll say 2 months ago, we were at 729. What were we today? 1,012, 13. Happy Friday the 13th, by the way. 24. Oops. I forgot a number there. All right. And we'll update this, $1,110. It's crazy, guys. We started out at 729. Now, I want to tell you something interesting, a great conversation I had with an executive from a silver mining company talking about just how hard there's not more silver coming. Okay. No matter what. Thank you again, Cliff, for that super chat, my friend. We know that, right? We're not going to cover that whole story, but there's not silver. All the easy silver in the world is gone, right? The silver that's in this American Silver Eagle coin could have been mined 5 years ago, could have been mined 50 years ago, could have been mined 2,000 years ago, okay? All the easy silver is gone. But as I was talking with him about silver, and like when you hold, if you've got one handy, pick it up. When you hold that in your hand, right? Oh, we like to look at it and say, oh, it's so beautiful. It has, why does this have value? Well, it's beautiful. Yeah, of course. It can be melted down and put into a solar panel or an electric car or a AI microchip. Sure. Is that where the value comes from? No. What we always forget about, which is so important, is the amount of work that goes into making a new one of these, okay? Right? The amount of effort. So yeah, it's beautiful. Yes, it has all these applications. Yes, it's money. But we often, all of us, forget, we make two big mistakes. Number one, we value these in paper unicorn fart test dollars. That's a whole different story. But on top of that, what we forget to realize is to make a new one of these, what it takes. Think about that, guys. Okay? If you got some eggs laying around, or this, here, I have a banana. I haven't eaten yet today, my daily banana, right? This has value. I can eat it. That's great. But you can grow more on trees. It's not that hard to make more bananas. To make another one of these, it is a massive amount of work and effort and toil, exploration, all the work that goes into developing, permitting a new mine, all the work that goes into chipping away all the rocks, right? And then crushing it. And then all the processing to get it into a doré bar, from concentrate to a doré bar. Then it has to go to another refiner, get refined. Then it has to go to a mint to be made into this. We forget about that, right? We just look at this and think, oh, it's an ounce of silver. It comes from a coin store. No, it doesn't come from a coin store. That's like thinking that babies come from a stork. There's a lot of work, a lot of value embedded in this, because to get another one of these, okay, you can't print these, right? Remember, this is real easy to make more of these paper dollars, unicorn fart dust, whatever you want to call it. This takes a ton of work, right? All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for right now. Thank you. Okay. Thanks for being part of the basement. Let's go out though and check on the silver price one more time. Come on, Sembex. Come on, silver. 48. Hey, it's getting better. I may hop on later today. We'll do an update on what's going on. Only down 48 cents. Remember, guys, this is normal. This is painful, but part of the process, right? Silver and gold will move up and down and round and round. They can drive you a little crazy if you let them. Thank you to channel sponsor Fortuna Mining. Looks like we're going to be with them for another year, from what I understand. So thank you, Fortuna, a stock that I own, and our friends over here at First Mining Gold. They're a Canadian gold developer. They've got two big projects, one of which is in Quebec, which is having a lot of there's a lot of acquisition activity that's been going on in Quebec, and a lot of people think that will continue. So gold in the ground in Canada. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. Thank you, guys. Okay, I'll see you more. I'll be back. All right, I appreciate. Oh, I want to go on my rant. I'm going to tell you what. There's one of the big things. There's a lot of anger in the United States right now about the healthcare system. Came to a head. I in no way condone violence, and I feel horrible about what happened to that CEO. You all know the story, who was shot. But what it has done is it has galvanized a lot of rage and anger amongst the American people regarding the healthcare system. Now, look, I have for years, and even on this channel from time to time, expressed my disgust with the healthcare system in this country. Hopefully, it feels like it's kind of a Bud Light moment, if that makes sense, what's going on right now. Hopefully, we can get something done in this country, because it is a joke. The healthcare system, for those of you who are out of the United States, is the biggest ripoff scam, I think, in the history of the world. Okay. All right. I have a family of 4. I pay so much money for health insurance. And then, like this morning, I had to go to the doctor. It costs $45 then to go to the doctor. And then you've got all these other deductibles and it's like, and then on top of it, if you want to go to the doctor, you want to get anything done, you got to get it all pre-approved. And it turns into the biggest expensive hassle in the world. And I'm going to tell you this, because I know this. I know a lot of doctors, okay? And everyone that I talk to says the system is screwed up. You know why? Because of big money, corporate greed. Big money, for-profit pharmaceutical companies, big money, for-profit hospital chains, and big money, for-profit insurance companies. I talk to doctors that tell me that like 70 cents of every dollar that's spent on healthcare in this country is spent on administration, is spent on those people that you have to call the insurance company. And I'm not saying anything against them personally, that are there to try to make sure that they don't have to reimburse you for anything. I mean, it's understandable. I do not condone any type of violence, period. But it's understandable that Americans are angry, angry, angry. And I'm telling you, it's all because of big corporate for-profit greed. Does it make any sense? Go turn your TV on. Leave the live stream. Go turn on your TV and watch your television for 1 hour. I guarantee you're going to see at least 4 pharmaceutical commercials. Why? Why? Why do pharmaceuticals have to advertise to the American public? I don't care about Jed or Jade or whatever his name is, Ned, and his plaque psoriasis. And I'm look, I know I have medical conditions. I'm not saying okay, but why do pharmaceutical companies have to advertise to the general public? Because guess who's paying for that? You are. I am. Okay? You are. I am. Why do these big insurance companies, right, are raking in billions of dollars in profit, right? Why are the hospital chains raking in billions of dollars in profit, right? Because it's all a big scam. Let me tell you something. We in America, this is a fact, we pay per person. You take the entire population, and you figure up how much on average is spent per person on healthcare. It's like significantly higher, I believe even double higher than a lot of other countries in the world, Germany, England, Canada, right? Because they have single payer health insurance. And by most quantitative measures, the quality, and I was talking to my doctor this morning, he agreed 100%. He's a young guy, he's probably in his like 40. So he's smart, he's hip, right? He's like, oh yeah, the healthcare in all those countries overall is rated much higher than the United States, right? And don't buy this BS that they brainwash. The big corporations that are raking in all the profits brainwashed us into believing, right, that in Canada or England or these other countries that you can never go to the doctor. You have to wait months and months to go to the doctor, blah, blah, blah. That's a bunch of bunk. And furthermore, and he agreed with me on this, in the United States, you got to wait months and months and months to go see the doctor at some point. So, you know what? Hopefully, President Donald Trump will do something about the crazy health. He's a businessman. If he's a businessman and he ran a business and he looked at the fact if he was paying twice as much for something for his business, that he could get a better quality product for a fraction of the cost, he would make the business decision to do it, right? So, you know what? I'll have a lot of respect for President Trump if he can actually do something like, because we know Biden and Kamala didn't do anything about it. It's a big joke. It's understandable why people are mad. People like me, right? And I've been talking about this for years, okay? And now it's getting all this attention. Again, I want to reiterate, I think it's a tragedy. Anybody, any type of violence. I mean, you know, but people outside of that, what we're seeing now are the American public speaking up and saying, this is a big joke. This is a channel about gold and silver. I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest. But, you know, I mean, you know, like I had to get an MRI done on my back like 3-4 weeks ago. It's incredible. I mean, you got to go through all this rigmarole with the insurance company, with the hospital, and I've got good health insurance. Cigna, okay? And then I get a bill and I'm paying 15 grand a year. I mean, it's crazy. It's insane. It makes no sense. And I'm telling you, it's not the doctors that are raking in all the money. No, right? It's the hospital chains. It's the insurance companies. It's the pharmaceutical companies. It's a big for-profit ripoff is what it is. And I think the American people are fed up, right? Because we're forced to participate in it. Okay, I think I'm speaking maybe for a lot of Americans. Maybe you don't agree with me. Maybe you think we got the best healthcare in the world. We don't. We don't. Sure, maybe in some areas we do, but in a lot of areas we don't. And when healthcare is the number one cause, from what I understand, of bankruptcy in this country, what kind of country do we live in? that if you just want to be healthy and follow the system, that is going to run you into bankruptcy. Okay, I'm done. I apologize. I appreciate you listening. But I think people, I'm reading all these articles of all this like groundswell of frustration and anger about the healthcare. I mean, it's crazy, guys. It's crazy. I mean, if you're really rich, that's great, right? And if you're really poor and you get free health insurance, that's great. But if you're like a person in the middle trying to earn a living and raise a family, it's insane. Have a good day. Go gold, go silver. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.